You probably heard from many reviewers that the S25 Ultra is the same as the S24 Ultra, which was flattened with a hammer and 5 rings around the cameras. I must say that, well, they're right. But is this compensated by software? Is it worth $500 more than the S24 Ultra? This is the Galaxy S25 Ultra review. So, let's do it. The design has undergone a series of small but noticeable changes. The frame is now completely flat and the edges are rounded, and it doesn't pinch your pants like its predecessor. But the S24 Ultra would have been a little better in the hand, which Samsung compensated by reducing weight and thickness. The ring around the cameras is nice, it feels more professional, but dirt collects around it and the lower rings don't have much resistance. The bezels on the front panel have become smaller, you can feel it, and Samsung has upgraded the glass to Armor 2, which is more resistant and more anti-reflective. This anti-reflectiveness is actually useful. In sunlight or even ambient light, the content is clearer than the competitors. The titanium frame is now grade 5, like the iPhone. 3 things are really not good about this design. The S Pen is a little out, it doesn't go all the way in, and it feels a bit cheapy. The color is a matter of taste, but most people I asked believed that the colors are weaker than the previous generations. And finally, most Chinese brands are moving toward IP69, which means resistance to high pressure water and high temperature water. I admit it's not a big deal, but it's $1,300. As for the S Pen, it's still incredibly fast and works without lag, but it doesn't have air gestures or Bluetooth anymore. I think it's to avoid show-off. Maybe. Samsung has always been great at display, but now it's really lacking. We still see the same 510 ppi dynamic AMOLED 2X panel with a dynamic refresh rate of 1 to 120 Hz. It still doesn't support Dolby Vision and it's 8-bit, and the PMW is not good at all compared to its competitors. The dynamic refresh rate is not very smart either. It's fixed at 120 Hz in games and fixed at 60 Hz in Chrome. And it doesn't go below 30 in normal mode. However, it's not a bad display at all. Not at all. It has really accurate colors, is sharp, and is on par with the flagship. But expectations are higher now. Its brightness also reaches 2600 nits in HDR content. But in normal mode, it is brighter than the 4000 nits of Chinese mid-range phones. Don't pay too much attention to the numbers. The fingerprint sensor is still ultrasonic and extremely fast. The speakers, like previous generations, have a loud and detailed sound. And this generation is a little stronger in low tones. But the iPhone still offers clearer sound. The 5000 mAh battery is great for 2024. Now silicon carbon batteries have come with higher capacities and better charging speeds. And the S25 Ultra's battery performance, although improved, is weaker than them. The charging speed is still 45 watts, and the full charge takes 55 minutes. And the cable in the box doesn't support more than 25 watts. Of course, Samsung showed a picture of the S25 Slim, which probably uses silicon carbon. I don't think it's a good move. The S25 Ultra should have had higher capacity, and the Slim version with a capacity of 5000 would have been thinner, which it is not. But the S25 Ultra's hardware has been a huge jump, as is true for all Android flagships. The Snapdragon 8 Elite for Galaxy, which is the same Plus version, with 12 or 16 GB of RAM. The 16 GB of RAM was dropped and is now back. Inside, the CPU performance is better than any other Android, and the GPU is a huge upgrade over the previous generations. And as expected, there is no task or game that this phone can't handle. The vapor chamber cooling system is also 40% larger, and while it does get warm over long use, it's stable. But the difference in daily use with the previous generation isn't that noticeable. What's going to set this phone apart isn't the hardware, it's the software, where this phone comes with Android 15 and One UI 7 and has 7 years of full software support. Really, what I wrote in the thumbnail is not a lie. Everything in the user interface is in its place, full of features and easy to access. Apple's Dynamic Island feature has brought down to the bottom of the screen, which is both more accessible and more practical. Its customization features are complete. The camera app has become more one-handed. I really think it has the best UI right now, although it is really heavy. AI has also penetrated deep into the UI. The circle to search now works to find videos or songs too. You can also make GIFs with it, find setting or a photo simply by describing it, and also the Gemini's multi-functionality and its compatibility with Samsung apps. For example, you can ask for a low-calorie recipe and tell it to enter it into your phone's note and write it in your calendar when to cook it. The Magic Razor and its photo editing features are currently the best. It has also added a feature to remove ambient noise from videos like the iPhone, which depends on the volume and complexity of the sound. But that's good too. But Samsung says it's only free until the end of this year. What happens after that? What's the price after that? It hasn't said. They're probably waiting for others to say it first. But confusion is not good. The S25 Ultra's camera hardware hasn't changed, except for the 50 megapixel ultra-wide. However, the new chip has done its job. In daylight, the photos have wide dynamic range, the colors are accurate and fairly saturated, the software sharpness has decreased, which is good, and the white balance is sometimes not good. In night mode, the dynamic range is good, the photos have very good detail, but the contrast and colors are washed out, and the software sharpness is noticeable. Portrait photos are fantastic. The background blur is world-class, and the face and light processing are also very good. Ultra-wide photos have more detail than the previous generation. The dynamic range is excellent, the sharpness could be better, and the colors are like the main lens. It also has autofocus. Photos with 3x zoom have good dynamic range, colors are accurate, and noise can be found. The 5x zoom is about the same. At 10x zoom, the detail and sharpness drop, but they are really good usable photos. The 100x zoom is also usable if you just want to read the text from a distance and have some gimmicky uses. Selfie photos have improved a lot. Noise has decreased, face processing is very good, and the dynamic range is wide enough. It also has autofocus. You can record 4K 120fps or 8K 30fps video with the S25 Ultra. Videos have improved, especially selfies, especially at night. But the iPhone is still a level higher. What is remarkable is the quality of photos on social medias, which in this generation is completely competing with the iPhone. Finally, the software features are great, but we'll see most of them with an update on the S24 Ultra. Plus 7 years of updates is a lot to worry about if you miss a year. The S24 Ultra is now around $800, and while I really think the S25 Ultra is a great phone, it's not worth $500 more. What do you think? Thanks for watching. If you like this video, like it, and if you like my content, subscribe to my channel. Goodbye, see you next video.